Howdy. So on another playlist, I've got a little posting about us having access to fresh milk, fresh whole milk, raw milk, milk straight from the cow, right? So the cow takes and converts the grass into milk, and then we consume it. And so I was able to get a hold of a couple of gallons. We've been milking our neighbor's cow, and so the first gallon, I pasteurized it. Actually, I pulled out the cream, skimmed off the cream, made butter, pasteurized it. I've already got a posting showing that. The next gallon, we're actually going to make mozzarella cheese with it. And so I'm going to show you how to make mozzarella cheese. Got a pot on the stove. I got a gallon of whole, fresh whole milk, right? Raw milk. So this has not been pasteurized. It still has all the cream in it, and it is milk straight from the cow. Actually, it didn't come from the cow just now. It came from the cow the other day, but I'm going to use it to make cheese. So I'm going to pour my milk into the pan here, and you can probably see the cream there on top. Pouring it in the pan, a whole gallon of raw milk, and that's in there. I'm actually going to scrape this cream that sort of settles around the lid, scrape it into the pan. You can put this cream in your coffee. I drink my coffee black, because I'm giving coffee a chance. Actually, that was last year's, but I am drinking coffee on a routine basis about every day. So there, I've got all the milk in the pan, and I'm going to heat it up to about 115 degrees. And so while, I'll just let it sit here while it's heating. I'll use my thermometer, check temperature, and you might see me moving around. I'll probably speed this thing up so you guys won't have to sit here and watch it heat to 115 degrees. But the idea for mozzarella is to heat it to 115 degrees, and then we've got a gallon of milk, and we're going to add 14 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar at 5% acidity. And so I buy that from Kroger in this big jug right here. Use distilled vinegar for other things too, but and so here I've got 14 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar measured out. And so once this thing gets to 115 degrees, we're going to pour that in there, mix it up real good, cover it up, let it sit there, and that acid will pull the fat molecules or the cheese. It'll make cheese out of they call them curds. You've heard eating curds and whey, and so that's what we'll have. We'll have curds in here and whey, and the whey is the liquid that's left over. And so that's what's going to happen. But first we got to get it up to 115 degrees. Don't know what's magic about 115 degrees, but that is temperature at which you add the vinegar to pull the curds out, mozzarella curds. So just hang out. We'll wait for this stuff to get 115 degrees. All right, we're about 110 degrees. I'm going to move you guys over here so you can see the, see if you can't see the curds form when that happens. Because, almost immediately after you pour the acid in, the curds will start forming. So it's 113. It's right about to be 115 degrees, and we'll pour that acid in there. All right, there we go, 115 degrees. We're going to pour the acid in. Echo, 30-second timer, and stir that vinegar in to get it incorporated a lot. And you can probably see, I don't know if you can, little globs, little globs forming there. Those are curds, and so that's the mozzarella cheese forming. So I'm just going to stir this up for about 30 seconds, and then we'll cover the pot, put the lid on it. You can see them now. Now it's really forming, and you know, about 15 minutes. We'll just let it set and let that acid draw the curds out of the mixture. Echo off. So 15 minutes. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, so been 15 minutes sitting with the lid on the pot, and my bride, who is over here making me a cake for my birthday, you know, my favorite kind of cake, which is cheesecake. And so you might hear that, but she told me that, you know, she's a chemistry teacher, that what's happening here, we've raised it up to 115 degrees, and the acid in the vinegar is reacting with the proteins in the milk, and there's a chemical reaction going on, and it's denaturing those proteins, and that's what causes the curds to come out. And so here they are. This is a glob of mozzarella cheese, and so I'm going to put it over into this pan, into this bowl, and try to fish out all the mozzarella here. And we'll do something else with this whey here in a second. But let me get as much of this out as I can, and then I'm going to put on some gloves. These are my barbecue gloves. Later this summer I'll show you how I do barbecue, but wear gloves so you don't contaminate the cheese. So put on these gloves, and then we're going to try to squeeze out the whey. And so just sort of squeeze it and let it drop back into the bowl there. Right, so we're going to squeeze the cheese, empty the bowl. Each time you squeeze it, squeeze a little bit harder. You can knead it a little bit, you know, that's good. But what you want to try to do is get as much of that whey out as you can. And what we're going to do, I'm actually going to try to take that whey and make some ricotta cheese. And then after we pull the ricotta out, I'm going to use that whey, heat it back up, and put this mozzarella back in it and use it to stretch the mozzarella. And so that's what you do when you, you know, to make it more firm, you stretch it. Italians, you know, ricotta, word ricotta means reheat. And so that's the use for this whey, is to heat it back up and pull the ricotta out. So here's the mozzarella, and you can see it tearing like real mozzarella does, well, or store-bought mozzarella. This is real mozzarella. And so we'll set it to the side. I'll cover it up, make some ricotta, and then we'll come back and stretch this mozzarella. So there's homemade mozzarella cheese. That's what works for me mostly. And so here, now we've got some whey from our ricotta, and we're going to put our mozzarella in there, and we're going to stretch it. We're going to let it come to temperature and stretch it. So that's about 160 degrees is what the whey is. This is the whey that we use, that we pulled our ricotta from. And it is very hot, so I can't really grab it with my hand. Just folding the mozzarella over and stretching a bit. I made a mess there, didn't I? So another thing you can do is after it's heated up is cool it down and stretch it in a bowl with your hands. So maybe I'll try that, and then I'll clean up my oven. But this is the way from ricotta. This is my mozzarella, and it's a little hot, so I'm gonna have to let it cool a little bit. So part of being a human is adapting and overcoming. And so what I've done, with these barbecue gloves, they come with a liner, and that liner is to protect your hands. And so I went and got that liner, and I put it on underneath these gloves, and so now I can handle this warm mozzarella. And so as you see, we're stretching a little bit. I don't want to work it too much, but you want to get it sort of smooth. Formed into a little ball, and that'll be our mozzarella. And so actually I could probably form it into a log. That may be better than a ball. What are we going to do with the mozzarella and the ricotta? Well, we're going to use it about a week or two. I mean, yeah, that's how long it'll last in the refrigerator, about a week or two. And so sometime in the next week or so, we'll probably make something like some stuffed manicotti or something with the ricotta. Could be. If you want to make cannolis, you'll take the ricotta. I don't need to talk about the ricotta on this video. I need to talk to mozzarella. But the mozzarella, we're going to get it cold, and we'll put it in the refrigerator and then eat it. But to grate it, you need it really cold, especially fresh mozzarella. Need to make it really cold, or maybe even freeze it a little bit. And then we might make some lasagna or something like that takes both mozzarella and ricotta, or some stuffed manicotti and put some mozzarella on some pizza. But there's a log of fresh mozzarella. So now I'm going to cool it down, put it in the refrigerator, and eat it. So making fresh mozzarella from raw whole milk. That's what works for me mostly.